Hey everyone, Nate Hedrick here, the Real Estate RPH. Welcome to part 6 and the last part of our 6-part series all about how to buy a home. We're going to be wrapping things up with closing, what that looks like, how to walk through it, and make sure you don't miss anything. All right, so negotiations are complete and you have a place under contract. Congratulations. Now it's time to get to work. There are a couple of things that you need to start doing right away. One of those, and one of the biggest things, is applying for your loan. Now, if you've gotten pre-approved, you might already have a lender in mind, but either way, you need to officially go to that lender and start the loan process. This is the step that takes anywhere from 30 to 35 to 40 days to complete, depending on how busy the lender is and the lender in particular, and what kind of mortgage you're going to be getting. So there are a number of factors that can affect this. So you want to start this process early, so they can start ordering things like the appraisal. They can start doing the underwriting on you as a financial individual and figuring out whether or not they're ready to loan to you. At the same time, you also want to be scheduling your inspections. As I mentioned in the negotiation video, hopefully you've built a number of contingencies into your loan and into the purchase agreement. So you want to start addressing those contingencies, and most of those are going to be inspection related. So go to your agent, find out who the best inspectors are in the area for the particular contingencies that you've set up, and get those inspections scheduled. You usually only have anywhere from 7 to 10 days to get those taken care of and make a decision on them. So get them scheduled early to make sure that you get the best possible inspectors. So I want to be sure to mention that at this stage, you definitely want to make sure that you attend the inspection with your inspector and your agent. It's really ideal to walk the property with that inspector and learn from them along the way. They're going to be putting a number of things in their report that might not make a lot of sense after the fact, but walking with them, having them explain the things that they think are problems or that you need to be aware of as a brand new homeowner, it's invaluable information. So you're paying for that inspection. Make sure you attend it with your inspector and your agent and ask questions. Don't be afraid to look stupid. These are experts. This is the time to learn what you can and make sure you get your money's worth. Once the inspections are complete, you reach a decision point with really 3 paths forward. You can renegotiate, you can walk away from the deal entirely, or you can waive your contingencies. Basically, you can use the information from the inspection to decide what to do. And that's why we built these contingencies in the first place. So if the results of that inspection are terrifying, there's foundation issues and all sorts of disaster potential that you don't want to deal with, you absolutely can walk away from that deal, get your earnest money back, and use that contingency that you built into your contract to your advantage to walk away from that. You can also use it to renegotiate. Maybe there are a couple of minor safety issues or some things that simply need to be repaired before the home is livable, and you can absolutely go back to the seller and try to renegotiate. Now, I advise you not to be nitpicky here, especially if the house is older, right? There are going to be things wrong. There are going to be defects. You're becoming a homeowner. This comes with the territory. Don't upset the seller by coming after them for 50 different line items. This is really a time to be specific and a time to focus on the major safety-related issues. If all that goes well, or if the inspection turns out great, you can simply waive your contingencies, and then you are all but locked into this contract at that stage. So this really becomes an important decision point and something you want to talk over with your agent very closely before you finally waive those contingencies and decide to move on. Now, this next phase becomes the hurry up and wait phase. Effectively, you're going to be sitting around waiting for your lender to make decisions, wait for the title company to do all their searching and title work, and you're going to be hearing nothing for 5 days in a row, and then all of a sudden there'll be 10 documents that they need, and it can be frustrating. Being organized up front can be really beneficial, but the thing that I found to be most effective at this stage is over communication. Which I know sounds annoying, but what I recommend is over communicate with your agent, the title company, and your lender. Check in as often as you think is reasonable. Really go kind of above what you would maybe normally do to make sure that everybody's on top of things. A lot of these people are pros who have done this for many, many years and are truly handling it the best way possible. but it's in your best interest to stay on top of them anyway. So I recommend over communicating at this stage. It'll prevent delays. It'll prevent you from missing something, especially as a first-time home buyer or as a new purchaser. So over communicate with all those individuals to make sure that nothing gets missed along the way. All right, and the last step is simply to actually attend your closing. So you'll schedule your closing. Sometimes this is done at the bank. Sometimes it's done at the real estate brokerage office. There are a number of locations. I've even done one in a Starbucks before, which I don't necessarily recommend, but it's possible. But at this stage, what you want to do is you'll get an actual closing disclosure from your lender. You'll have 72 hours to review that closing disclosure, ask any questions, and then you'll show up on the day of closing and actually sign all the paperwork. This is another point at which you can ask questions, but I definitely recommend trying to ask them up front, right? That's why they give you that 72-hour window so that they can sort through any issues before you actually sit down at the table. There's going to be a lot of paperwork in front of you, a lot of signatures happening. Better to ask those questions before you're in that pressure seat, and it'll make your life a lot easier at the actual closing table. Once closing is complete, your lender will coordinate with title, and within a day or so, title will transfer and you will be officially a homeowner. You'll get your keys from your agent and you get to move in. So congratulations if you've made it that far. This is a really exciting time. Don't forget though, if after you move in you still have questions or something comes up that doesn't seem right, your agent is still a part of your team. Even though that closing's taken place, they're still around. So don't be afraid to reach out to them well after the fact if there's anything that you need. Otherwise, congratulations and enjoy your new home.